In just over a week, voters will have their final say on Issue 1, the proposed state constitutional amendment with profound implications on how citizens can influence government. It has also drawn far more interest for an August election than predicted. Mark Naymik, managing editor of news with Signal Cleveland, is here to break down the issue and the numbers behind this election.
Yeah, welcome, Mark.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so it's summertime, of course, but it feels like an election because you see the commercials, you drive around, you see the signs. But can we just start with what is Issue 1?
Yeah, I am definitely having flashbacks to my days as a political reporter because that's how much activity is truly going on out there. But right now, Issue 1 would make it way harder to change the Constitution. And that would require changing it from a 50% plus one vote to a 60% majority to make a change in the Constitution. Now, citizens who are unhappy with certain existing laws have collected tens of thousands of signatures to put amendments before voters. Since 1912, a simple majority was all that was needed to force changes to get things like minimum wage, term limits on public officials, and even casino gambling here.
So the question is, why is this issue before us now? Why are we voting on this now?
Well, there's a lot going on. So it's been promoted by Republicans as a way to protect the Constitution. They say it's too easy to change that Constitution, giving special interests a chance to spend some money, come in, and make us regret some policy. Now, all of that is debatable. The real issue driving this is, of course, keeping abortion rights out of the Ohio Constitution. Issue 1 supporters want to make that change to this Constitution, making it harder, before November, because that's when a constitutional amendment will be before the voters that would enshrine abortion rights into the Constitution. So it is a game of trying to beat somebody to the punch to make it more difficult, regardless of where you stand. But since the Supreme Court made that decision last summer to take away the federal Roe versus Wade, that pushed abortion rights issues back to the states. So this is popping up and happening here, leaving it to voters and states to decide.
Yeah, certainly a lot of attention here. And so kind of what do the latest figures show about the election that, to our understanding, it seems like both sides kind of anticipated being potentially a sleepy election?
Yeah, this is very active in the hard numbers of early in-person voting, those that go down to their Board of Elections, and those that are sending in those mail-in ballots or absentee ballots. Right now, they are outpacing comparable August elections. But it's even more than that. They are ahead of what we saw even in the more traditionally popular primaries of May. So right now, we've got, I think the numbers show about 355,000 voters cast ballots early, according to the Secretary of State, by late last week. That's already way more than all of the ballots cast early in the May primary. So we still have a week left, so those numbers are going to really jack up in the next couple of days.
All right. And we have a full election guide on our website, WKYC.com,
Right.
if you want to break this all down. But Mark, we appreciate you. Thanks for coming in, always.